As Chef Peter Pepper, you must fend off the food foes while making perfect burgers. Use pinches of pepper to stun Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Egg, and Mr. Pickle, or lure them onto or under burger buns, lettuce, cheese, or tomatoes to escape their clutches. Make perfect burgers. It gets progressively tougher, though, through the 6 screens of Burger Time. Oh, it's Burger Time from SAS Sakata and DataEast. We've had a lot of DataEast games lately, and that's pretty cool. Coming to us in May of 1987. Random bit o trivia for Burger Time. Not every version of the game is titled the same way. Some versions, Burger Time is one word with a capital T in time. Some versions, it's 2 words. Who can say why this happens? Who knows? Anyway, Burger Time, originally a 1982 arcade game created by DataEast for its Deco cassette system. The game's original title, Hamburger, was changed to Burger Time before its introduction to the US. The player is Chef Peter Pepper, who must walk over hamburger ingredients located across a maze of platforms while avoiding pursuing characters. The game was popular in arcades, and in the US, DataEast licensed Burger Time for distribution with Bally Midway. The DataEast and Midway versions are distinguished by the manufacturer's name on the title screen and by the marquee and cabinet artworks. How about that? According to Twin Galaxies, the record high score on Burger Time is 11,512,500 points, set by Brian L. Wagner, undoubtedly a man who enjoys a good burger, in 2008. I enjoy a good burger as well, but not 11 million points. When DataEast went bankrupt in 2003, the world cried. And then Gmode bought most of DataEast's intellectual properties, including Burger Time Deluxe, Super Burger Time, and Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory, which doesn't work quite as well as Burger Time. Anyway, the object of the game is to complete a number of hamburgers while avoiding enemy foods. When the main protagonist, Chef Peter Pepper, we walk the length of an ingredient, bun, meat, patty, tomato, etc., it falls 1 level. If it lands on top of another ingredient, the latter, in turn, falls 1 level. And a burger is completed when all vertically aligned ingredients have been dropped out of the maze onto a waiting plate. Once all burgers are completed, the game level is finished. While making burgers, the player must avoid the antagonists, 3 types of enemies: Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Pickle, and Mr. Egg. That Mr. Egg, how we hate him. Enemies can be dodged, stunned, crushed with a falling ingredient, or dropped by luring them onto an ingredient and then causing it to fall. In this last case, the piece will fall much farther than normal, depending on how enemies are on it. Enemies that have been crushed or dropped return to the maze after a few seconds. Dropped enemies award larger point values than crushed ones. Therefore, to obtain a high score, the player must attract more than 1 enemy onto an ingredient just before dropping it. Peter Pepper has pepper shots to shake on nearby enemies to stun and render them harmless for a few seconds. Extra shots are obtained by collecting bonus foods, such as coffee, an ice cream cone, or french fries, which appear in the center of a maze when a certain number of ingredients have dropped. There are 6 screens of increasing difficulty with more burgers and enemies. Burgers that have more parts and or layouts that make it easier for Peter Pepper to be cornered and harder for him to reach the ingredients. Completing all 6 screens take you back to stage 1. Bunch of sequels available. Burger Time Delight, which is a mobile version released by Namco in 2007. Way to go, Namco. And Burger Time World Tour are the most recent. This was announced by Monkey Paw Games for the WiiWare, Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and Microsoft Windows in 2011. Developed by Frozen Codebase, a new game is fully updated to 3D and was released in 2011 for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. It was also released in 2012 for WiiWare. And as the end of 2011, the Xbox Live version has sold nearly 8,000 units. How about that? It was ported, due to its success, to several home computer consoles. The Apple II, the Atari 2600, the BBC Micro, the ColecoVision, the Commodore 64, the MS-DOS, the Intellivision, the Mattel Aquarius, the MSX, the NES, and the TI-99 4A. Most recently, it can be found on mobile phones, Pelican's VG Pocket Caplet, and the Wii Virtual Console. A deluxe version was released for the original Game Boy, titled Burger Time Deluxe, and this version was later added to the 3DS Virtual Console. The arcade version was included in Midway Arcade Greatest Hits Volume 2 for the PlayStation, and an emulated version was released in 2005 for the PS2 in Japan as part of the Oritachi Gyasen Zoku Sono series. I say funny words in a very non-funny way. As of 2007, Burger Time is available through a subscription online game service, GameTap. And, by the way, Mr. Chef Peter Pepper appeared in Wreck-It Ralph. He's seen having a drink at Tapper's and his character picture on the video game celebrity wall, alongside with Mr. Egg, Mr. Hot Dog, and Mr. Pickle. Peter Pepper was later cited in Game Central Station, generously giving Cubert, Coily, Ugg, Slick, and Sam a burger that the characters can share. It's a classic game. What more do you want? If you haven't played Burger Time, you ought to do it at least once, even if it's to say, I really didn't think I was going to like Burger Time, and I still really don't. But at least you can say that.